ready for departure.
We are lifting off from a well-worn runway.
I said 18 Lima Romeo, Bagram departure.
Half a world away from home.
That was over 82 calling.
On board at the controls, a cockpit crew cool and calm,
Good, I see 130 going nose right in front of us.
considering what we're soon passing above.
Flashing 0333, passing 5,500.
One of the most dangerous spots on the globe.
20 miles south of Kabul.
Down here below, in the shadow of the towering Hindu Kush Mountains, amid the mud huts and dusty villages, is the battleground of the longest war the U.S. has ever fought.
So everyone just play fight first. We need to start getting equipment on board, so let's speed it up. Lift!
And we're hopscotching this hostile territory by air with some familiar faces from back home in Colorado.
Right up here, sir. Thank you.
A flight crew that sees the trauma of the war on terror firsthand daily.
We're going to take care of whoever needs to be taken care of. Ready?
Air Force Reserve Captain Deanna Leba is in charge here. Back home in her regular life, she's an orthopedic nurse and mother of 3 from Colorado Springs. But here in Afghanistan,
Where's the nurse?
her emergency room is the cramped fuselage of a cargo plane.
Are you ready for this Gonzo to be moved?
Stretchers dangling from the ceiling. It's an air ambulance flown into some of the most hazardous hotspots in the country.
So do we have one litter and one ambulatory patient?
The captain and these other reservists from Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs are medics picking up the war wounded, victims of IED blasts and other battle injuries, and stabilizing and treating them en route to better equipped hospitals in Germany and back home in the U.S.
We see double amputees, we see brain injuries, we see eye injuries, they're just really hurt.
Senior Airman Aaron Smith is from Parker, a student at CU Denver studying nursing.
No numbness, no tingling, no pain right now.
What better classroom than this, treating this soldier who it turns out suffered an ankle injury. We pick him up in Jalalabad, a notorious danger zone that Osama bin Laden once called home.
98% SpO2 on room air.
While they check his vitals, we lift off again, lumbering toward another outpost and even more wounded. All the while, the crew aboard aware of the hazards they too could face. These planes have been known to have close calls with rockets and bombs and gunfire themselves. At some stops, the danger is more severe than others, like at this one at a village called Shank in the mountainous area near the Pakistan border. There's intelligence that says Americans are in danger here, and that's why for this stop, they've assigned us and the crew these bulletproof vests. Armed guards protect the flight crew as they load up the most serious casualties yet, 2 soldiers from the Afghan army who suffered massive internal injuries in a rollover accident.
Try to lift? Lift.
And they are critical patients. They've got trauma injuries. Careful, careful!
One of the men has internal bleeding. He's hooked up to a breathing tube, and there's some fear he might not make it. Both soldiers are in bad shape, given constant care mid-flight, just in case something goes wrong.
I think the hardest thing is the pain and just managing the pain.
Any doctor or nurse will tell you there's a special feeling that comes from helping people who need it most. But for this Colorado crew, the feeling is amplified, considering who the majority of their patients are.
It's very humbling to be taking care of our guys that have sacrificed everything for our country and our nation of people. And now I can get back to them, and I can make sure that they get home. And that's really important.
And speaking of home, that is where First Lieutenant Ann Barnes can't wait to go.
I have 3 kids at home, so I'm anxious to get back to them.
It is constantly on the minds of this crew, though the mountain sunsets like this one outside Kabul often remind them of Colorado's Front Range. It can hardly erase the reality of what they deal with every day.
Ready!
And it's no substitute for what awaits some 7,000 miles away when this deployment finally ends.
I'm very ready to go back home. I miss my husband and my kids, but as far as the experience, I wouldn't trade it for anything.